Hi guys. I don't know how to tell Bagel that Bagel doesn't even get any questions. they're counting their questions so close, like as if they're wishes, but they don't get any to begin with. Let them pretend. Let them pretend. Hi Small, hi Bagel, how you guys doing? Yeah, no, it's a little different today because I'm gonna be totally honest. I forgot we were gonna do it this week, and then I realized that this week is also a short week for me with all the cons and stuff to go to. So I'm like, oh shit, I didn't plan this very well. So I messaged Bubba. I was like, "Are we still on for this week?" She's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay." But I found a list of the questions that are kind of in the realm of what my therapist suggested asking. So I'm like, okay, this could still be good. This could still be good. But let me give Bubba a call, make sure that she's all good to go, and then I will give the gist of what this is tonight and what this looks like, because I know I also kind of pitched it to Bubba where I'm like, this is kind of what I'm going for, and then we'll see how we do this. Yeah, but basically it's gonna be a an exercise that my therapist has suggested. So everybody's here for the ride, because apparently I can't do this without a audience. I don't know. It's gonna be the deaf me. Give me 1 second and give Bubba a call. Of course, Avril Lavigne comes on. Let's just start the childhood trauma now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Give me 1 second to turn on. Oh my goodness, you're so sorry. Being the only person in the call makes you massive. There we go.
I
Let's
can
switch
change
over
it,
here.
Pookie, if you
No,
want.
you're good. It automatically dynamically changes the size. So the last time we had a group of like 5,
Oh yeah.
and so it was good. But then you're alone, so it's just like take up the whole screen. Do the make her the whole thing. And I'm like, oh,
My big eyes. Yay.
look at you. Oh my god. Who could say no to that face? Nobody. I was just telling chat that kind of what this is gonna look like. Hi, Brando. Hello. She's a strawberry. She is a strawberry through and through. The best berry. Still, the singular reason why when I'm at work and I need to get through something that I really don't want to do, I just tell myself I need to do my very best.
Gotta do your very best.
It's become a mantra. I hope you realize that. No, Small, you gotta stop eating my food, friends. Stop it.
No, I'm not for eating.
How is Bubba's volume, though? I know, right? Bagel keeps trying to turn me into soup, and I'm like, I'm not soup. I am a soup lover. There's a difference. I'm human. She's quiet. Okay, noted. Let me turn that up. Test, Bubba, please. Test. What'd you have for breakfast?
Testing. Me? Cereal.
Oh, what kind of cereal person are you?
I don't really eat cereal usually, but I was lazy today, so I had whatever was available. In this case, it was Honey Bunches of Oats.
Ooh, that's my favorite kind. I get the berry one.
Wait, Special K? I like the Special K with the
That
strawberries in
too.
it.
This is gonna make me sound really old lady, but the absolute best cereal is the frosted mini wheats, but with chocolate milk.
I've had those once, and I always feel like there's too much. It's too much. It's too bready for me.
I know it's a texture thing for a lot of people. I know. Calm
Very
down,
dry.
y'all will be
Yeah.
fine. You got to get them a little bit soggy in the chocolate, because then the vanilla frosting with the chocolate, it's fine. It's good. But it requires patience that I don't typically have. Yeah, so the gist of today that I'm hoping, and thank you for volunteering to do, because it's just not a small task by any means. The gist of it was something that I'm open with chat about, is that I talk about things that me and my therapist go through. One exercise she suggested was to ask someone I trusted to kind of give me observational feedback on myself, because she believes that I don't get enough outside stimuli when I was a kid to really kind of formulate who I am, which is interesting. So like I have a concept of who I am or who I think I am, but then I don't have any feedback from the outside world to compare that. So that's kind of the idea. and where that tweet came from like months ago that you responded to, and I'm sure you're regretting now.
No, I'm having fun with it. Don't worry.
Good. So that's the general idea. It's kind of like a really amped up version of whenever someone, like, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, where they come up to you and they've been friends for a bit and they're like, you really look like a real bitch when we first met. Didn't think you liked
Yeah.
me. It's like that, but like worse, just the
Mm.
entire thing. Yeah. So a lot of these questions are angled to try and like be as honest as possible, but also I trust that we're not going to destroy each other, which is nice. If
No,
that makes
I
sense.
I highly doubt that we will.
I would think not. So yeah, that is. I think that I think I suggested the 21 questions because I wanted to try and make a cap, because some of these I think could be pretty big deep dives just for conversation, because we get derailed. That's how things happen. So
Mhm.
I figured 21 would kind of keep us in range. Now I did want to ask, because I didn't really hash this out lately. I know it was when I first pitched it, but I'm going to be asking you about questions about me. Do you want to ask questions to me about yourself as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I wanted to make sure that was cool, because I know that can be vulnerable for people sometimes. So I just want to
No,
make
I'm kind
sure.
of the similar boat for you where I also enjoy feedback. So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
So am I asking so hold on. Am I
Okay.
asking you a question about myself or a question about you?
About yourself. So like from that list I provided, something,
Okay.
yeah, where it's
Got you, got you.
usually my opinion or my perspective of something about you.
Let's have you start first.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I wanted to go with one of the top ones that they gave, which I thought was a good one. I thought of it on my own as well, because I'm like, this seems easy as a nice warm up.
Mhm.
How would you describe me in 3 words?
Like off the top of my head, I would say serious,
Hmm.
calm, and
Mm-hmm.
good-natured, I feel like.
That's actually really interesting, because it's none of those I would have said myself. So that's actually good to know. Okay.
First impressions wise, obviously
No,
you get
that's
to know
fair.
you but like when I first met you through BL,
Mm-hmm.
you gave me those vibes, more serious, but like
Okay.
calm, like,
Hmm.
and very good natured. Yeah. You don't seem like you're
Okay.
easy to anger.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Off the bat, I mean.
And then we played Rivals. Then we were like, never mind.
Well, rivals makes everyone angry, to be fair.
True. It brings out the toxicity in everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I like that one. Okay, so I got my first one down. Not what do you mean nuh-uh? What do you mean nuh-uh?
He means nuh for Marvel because he's
I'm
yeah.
never toxic. Brando, I hope you realize that your good-natured toxicity, that was one of the first things that I got to be introduced to with you, was also one of my favorite things.
Yeah, he makes
Because I was
he
like,
makes things
oh,
fun.
I'm like, oh, dude did not hesitate.
Mhm.
Had the words. Like, Brando might actually stand a chance against Janet.
Who?
Only person I can think of who might stand a chance against my bot.
Oh.
Because my bot is so mean to everybody and they get obliterated. I think Brando's the only one who could possibly take it from her and give it back just as good.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Your question.
Okay.
Sorry.
I
Are
think I
you also?
saw one.
Yeah.
Oh, how would you describe my energy when I walk into a room?
I'm going to assume the walking into a room is when you walk into a VC.
Yeah,
Um,
basically.
your energy. How do I describe the energy? Um, I, I find like you're one of those people that takes the moment to come in and you read the room first.
Mhm.
You're very quiet when you come in. You don't say anything yet. You see what the vibe is. You see what the conversation is. You see what the flow is. And then you might hop in or sometimes you just wait for someone to say hi, Bubba. It's
This
one or
is
the
so
other.
true.
But I appreciate that though, because there's so many people that will just hop in and then derail completely because they didn't
Mhm.
stop to see what anyone was doing.
Yeah. No,
So
that is
I
exactly
find,
what I
yeah,
do, so I
yeah.
appreciate that you noticed that because I think that's a pet peeve of mine is when people join conversation in real life or in a VC and they just derail it and make it all about themselves, or they just change the topic or whatever, and it's like, Read the room, please."
Yeah, you don't know if it was important that you
Yeah.
just walked in on. Uh-huh.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's true. I appreciate that about you. Yeah. But maybe that's the
Oh.
same thing as where you said calm, because I'm like, yeah, calm. You're a calm energy when you enter a chat. I know things are going to be fine.
I
Like
wouldn't say
we're,
I'm calm.
I
That's
mean,
it's funny that you say that though, because so many people around me have said that I have calm energy, and
mhm.
I'm like, Are you sure?" 'Cause I don't
Yes.
feel like I'm calm. I feel like I'm the opposite, like, very chaotic, very loud, but huh.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, I would say that too. If you were going to give me the same question, because I wasn't sure if you were going to, since it's one of the first ones, and I was like, yeah, no, I get a very calm vibe from you.
Hmm.
Because when you explain yourself, you're very measured and you think about what you're going to say before you say it,
I do,
which
which I think
is
is
a
a
rare
very
thing these
autistic
days.
it's a very autistic trait of mine, just because I gotta make sure that what I'm trying to say comes across right.
I feel that. I feel that. I was like, you're like
Yeah.
me, where you're trying to like, oh, am I making sure I'm saying this in the clearest way that's not going to be
Yeah,
misunderstood?
we bonded over that. The first time
Very
Lynn and
true.
I don't know if the chat knows this, the first time Lynn and I
Mm.
really spent time together in a VC, we were playing Genshin together, just running around Sumeru, and we started out talking about our headcanons for characters or whatever,
Yep.
and then it just got it got deep, and we're talking about our experiences and our illnesses and, like, all of that, so that's kind of how we started, like, really started getting to know each other.
You
Yeah.
know what I think the segue was?
Hmm.
The headcanon started with Haikave,
A
which
Hytham.
as it should,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Alhaitham. And then that turned into the neurospicy coded, and then that, yeah, that was a rabbit hole that
Yep.
just was asking to be explored.
'Cause I love Haikade, but I'm a big fan of Hytham in general because I relate
Yep.
to him on a personal level. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Alright,
Okay.
let's next
Okay.
question.
20 more. Hmm. Oh, okay, here's one. What's one habit of mine that you find most surprising?
Habit of yours. I'm gonna say, like, based off of what I know,
Hmm.
hmm, to think about this. I feel like hmm, it's the way you present your humor, I think, is very deadpan. But to me, I find that really funny. But I wouldn't have expected you to have deadpan humor, especially being, like, friends with BL.
That's so fair. That's true. Because you know what? I've had a lot of people kind of say that afterward, but
Mhm.
mostly because at first they pick up on it, but they think I'm being serious.
Yeah,
They think
no,
I'm just
like,
saying things when they first meet them.
it's the sarcasm, but deadpan sarcasm, yeah, which I
Oh,
think
mm-hmm. That I see how that could
if they
get me
don't
in
know you
trouble
well
sometimes.
enough. Yeah, you got the Hytham vibes, where you're saying something and people just take it seriously, and you're like, "No, I was just joking, actually."
It's like that was a joke.
Yeah,
And then you have that little
exactly
inner
those vibes.
monologue where you're like, "You're not fucking funny. Shut up."
Oh no, you are.
uh,
I would know, having to do your channel trailer. I was like, "She's kinda funny, though."
oh God, I feel like that the you doing that trailer for me alone, I felt like it was at least worth 5 of these questions.
You see yourself in a
I was
different
like,
light.
oh, see, I knew I thirsted. I didn't think I thirsted this much. But seeing
To
lined
be
up in
fair, that's
sequence,
also
oh.
my bias, to be fair, because I picked the clips that I found the most funny, and those are the ones that I found funny, so to be fair, it's not just like, it's 2 different perspectives, I think, right?
I liked
So
it though. Well, that's why I wanted you to do it, because I'm like, Bubba's humor is S tier. I'm like, I know this is gonna be good, no matter what you chose. So
Yeah, no, it was great.
that was an investment. Your second question.
My second. Hi, bud. Oh, I forgot to give you dinner. 1 second.
Yeah. No rush. I'm actually going to
Hmm.
do a pin message while you do that, if that's okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, he wants his dins right now.
Real Bubba do be funny. She's right. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, guys. I'm just writing myself a pin message that I cannot spell. There we go. Nope, that's also wrong. There we go. There we go.
Okay. I like we are self-exploring. That's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Owen. How are you? Not that I was here for Silas. That was.
Home
Well,
in Maine. We love you.
you know what? That's true. If people can handle me at my Silas, then they can handle me at any point, because
The
that's a
silence,
lot.
yes.
That's a lot.
I think this one, I'm trying to find questions that like because we know each other, but I would say there's parts of us we still don't know.
Oh
So I'm trying to
yeah.
find questions that we can answer easily. How would you
Yeah.
describe my communication style?
Ooh, okay. Um, I don't know if there's proper words for like the types of communication. Kind of like how there's like different type of actual terms
Yeah,
for
no,
love
no, no.
language, you
Just
know?
like in general. You don't have to
Um,
do the
okay, I'm
professional.
saying like I like to classify it actually. It's I want to say, I don't want to say cold if I say it's like clear and concise, but it is. Because again, you think before you speak. And so
hmm
I would say your communication, but that being said, you do also have those moments where it's like rapid fire, it's higher pitch, and it is also the most honest I ever hear you. Because I don't think you get the second to think about it before you say it sometimes. And I'm like, those are the best nuggets that come out of you.
The moments of chaos where, especially when it's Brando, where he says something
Brando,
and
I was
I'm
gonna say
like,
that part.
yeah. Where I just rip him apart. Yeah. That sounds about right.
There's some moments where you are so patiently like trying to think about what you're gonna say, and you're phrasing it so eloquently, and then it gets to a point where like, Brandon, we're talking. I was like, we were getting there.
Yeah, that seems about right. But I do appreciate that again that you notice that because
Yeah.
a lot of times when I go through my VODs and stuff, I'm like, man, I should have been more like clear. I should have been this, should have been that. But you're saying that I already seem pretty clear and concise. So I
Yes.
guess it pays off a little. Yippee.
It sure
But
does. And
the
I think it kind of, I think, lends to that whole idea of how we have that. It actually lends to the observational self versus, you know, our inner. There's one in between that my therapist was talking about where it's kind of like a I don't remember what the term she gave it, but basically it's that version of ourselves that we know is not real, or that we know is like our professional self, our customer
mhm.
service self, our
Uh-huh.
I'm in front of kids I can't swear self, you know, that kind where we know that we're
Yeah.
wearing some kind of mask.
Mhm.
And so there's just some elements that we're toning down or amping up. And so I think that lends to it a little bit, because I find when you speak to people who are maybe not regulars or first time chatters, you speak differently, and it's good because it is
Mhm.
more clear. It is more, I would say, concise in that you set your boundaries early, which is also smart. Very smart.
Yeah, the setting
Mhm.
boundaries thing is something that I've had to learn over time because the
Mm.
more you let people get away with things, the more people are going to come in thinking it's okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if that means I lose a viewer or two. I'd rather be comfortable than popular, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I would say, oh
Mhm.
my God, I just realized your communication style is gentle parenting.
Gentle
It's
parenting,
gentle
really?
parenting. It's so like the proper version of gentle parenting, where it's like, here is the boundary. Here's what happens if you break the boundary. oh my god, about the boundary, that kind.
Yeah.
That's
Honestly, you know what? That's kind of correct. The way I grew up was the opposite of gentle parenting, so maybe I really am subconsciously trying to be the opposite of that. So,
You know what? It works. It goes to show online, especially chats. Turns out can be gentle parented. Look at that
Yeah.
chat. You're even learning something about yourselves today.
That whole post about people calling me mommy, but oh my god, actually mother. Oh, fine.
Oh my god, for real.
I'm actually parenting them. No. Crazy.
She's on to us. um, goodness me, I had one and now I've lost it in the sea of questions on here. Oh, here we go. Okay, this could be interesting. Do you think I'm more of a thinker or a doer?
I want to say thinker, but I don't know much about your like day-to-day life to really confirm that.
Yeah,
But I feel like you're
let's
the
base this on
type.
the online. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're the type that likes to think things through a ton before you commit to something.
Mm.
Again, this is my what do I call it?
Mm-hmm.
Observation of you. So I
Yeah.
could be totally off, but I feel like you're the type that likes to think things through. Like again, even before you asked for me to make the video, I feel like it took a few tries before you fully committed to it. And you're like, "Well, I like your style. Yes, I like this, I like that." And then it took like another week and they're like, I kind of want to." And then finally you're like, "Actually, can you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can. I've been waiting." So I do feel like you're the type that really thinks things through in that sense. Just to make sure that you've got everything kind of figured out, maybe? I don't know if I'm correct
Welcome,
about
sir.
this, but
I'll
yeah.
bring you
That's
some tea. It's not good
that's
tea,
actually
but
so
it's hot.
interesting,
And it's
only because
frozen, and I'll
it
bring
does
you a
lend
wrap,
to the
because when I froze
idea
it, might not drip.
that
And a nice big soba. We make
Sorry, I
the
have the
best soba.
longest rating
Honest,
message.
bad tea, great soba. Okay.
give it a sec. There we go. Okay. Hi
Welcome in,
Maritime, thank you.
Raiders.
Welcome in. Um because I was going to say the same thing. I do think I'm a doer, but I realized that this is probably lends to my negative self-talk that I need to work on. Where I'm like, I'm definitely a thinker, but it's more so like I have a lot of ideas, but the execution of them
Mhm.
is like my scorecard is not good. Like I've done a few, but not as many as I would like. And so
Yeah, which is why I think you gave off the idea
yeah.
of a thinker versus doer, yeah.
That's fair. My thinking was, and I guess in partially you're not wrong. It is, yeah, I usually will think things through. I think maybe my issue is I maybe will jump the gun in trying to move that thinking into action too soon before I fully thought it out sometimes.
Mhm.
And then after I've thought about it more, like, that's not going to work. That's not going to, that doesn't vibe with the schedule or whatever. Like it's,
Mhm.
yeah. So I end up backtracking. So that's fair. That's a valid, yeah, that makes sense.
I
That
I wanna
tracks.
say I think I'm very similar. Um,
Mm,
and it's something that I've learned over the years. I'm trying to get better. I was definitely even more of a thinker. I'm a chronic overthinker. It's what I do. But
mhm,
I try not to let myself get too deep into the rabbit hole of thinking and thinking. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for it and see what happens. And I'm trying to get better at doing that more and more. Because
mhm.
yeah, you can kind of just get stuck in it and you think and then you don't do it, which is how I ended up VTubing actually.
Wait,
I
really?
wasn't really having yeah, I used to be a face cam streamer.
Did
And,
you? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
I was a face cam streamer and I was just, I was like kind of, "Huh, I'm not really sure how I feel about this." And then I saw a customizable model that was like 20 bucks or something, and I was like, "That looks cool. Imma try it. It's only 20 bucks." Bought it, and then I really loved it, and I've been here ever since. So, sometimes I'm a doer, sometimes I'm a thinker. And I think it's good to have a balance of both. Because people that are only doers can be very impulsive and don't
Yeah.
think things through at all, and that can be a bad thing as well. So I think it's okay to have a little bit of both. In fact, it's probably better
Mhm.
to have a little bit of both.
Do you
Yeah.
find that you get that internal tug of war a lot? Because this for the same reason, like a thinker, but at the same time, do you also deal with the impulsivity that comes with our neurospiciness?
Yes, I do.
Because
I
sometimes I feel like I'm doing
do,
a tug of war.
but I have been I don't know if I'm blessed, but I have a family that is very impulsive.
Mm.
So I am able to learn from their mistakes.
Ah.
So most of
Ah.
the time I think about doing something impulsive and I'm like, whoa, whoa. But what happened last time when your sister did that? Wait, okay, hold on. So I think things are a little bit more but that tug of war I think naturally exists for a lot of people.
Mm.
I don't think that's a bad
True.
thing. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more for us, but I think it's also helpful to just talk things out with people, which is something I'm trying to learn as
Yes.
well. It's okay to ask for
Yes.
help because most of the time I'm
Mm-hmm.
struggling on my own, and then I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I feel so lost, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can just ask
Yep.
someone. I don't have to Google everything and YouTube everything. I could just ask someone.
Right? Realizing that
Yeah.
people are really excited to share something they know about has helped me immensely get through the whole I'm bothering somebody if I ask for help.
Oh yeah, I will specifically get to know people and their interests and stuff, and then file that information away. So if I ever want to ask a question, I'm like, well, this person's actually really passionate about this, so they'll probably
Mm-hmm.
be happy to help me instead of bothered, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Your question. Oof.
Um.
Keep it hydrated.
Hmm. What's one personality trait of mine that you think I should embrace more?
Um, I want to say I think you already are embracing it more. The the info dumping. When you're
The
really
info
into
dumping.
something and you info dump in the best kind of way, and I'm guilty of this as well. Y- I think you kind of get a little self-conscious about it. Only because if I don't know if it's for the same reason, but if you're like me, you can kind of see people's eyes in real life. They glaze over a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, or the irritation. Mhm.
Yeah, and we've gotten so used to that visual feedback that now even when we're online, I think we just kind of assume that that's what's happening.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
would say embrace that more because I genuinely one of my favorite things when I'm in your stream in your space, and even when we're just one on one and you're just really passionate about this thing that either happened or something that you've learned or whatever. I love that.
Really?
Love it.
I got told in the past that I seem like a know-it-all, so I try
Oh,
not to
I feel that.
or that I'm annoying, so I try not to info dump as much anymore, and I know people around me are always like, "It's fine if you do." But I'm like, "Are you just saying that to say that? Or is it actually fine? Because I can info dump for ages. I'm a yapper, but are you actually okay with that? I don't know." So yeah, you're spot on about that. I'm never sure if that's okay for me to do.
Absolutely. Mine especially is in your own space on your own stream. Never apologize for that.
That is true. That is true.
Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Your
Yeah,
cute
that is
strop.
true.
Exactly. Because I will say, chat has been teaching me this as well. And I say chat just because it's been multiple people over months of, for some reason, I don't have to understand it. I just have to accept it that for some reason they like the info dumping.
Well, you go to a streamer
Sure.
to be entertained and to learn things,
I,
right? So I guess
right?
info dumping is fun in a streaming context. Because when you go to a YouTube video, what are you there? You're there to learn something or be entertained, either or. An info dump is really nice for that context, I guess. So I guess that's why streaming is nice, at least for us, because we can
Mm-hmm.
yap and people are there for it. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would say embrace it because I
mm.
enjoy because your interests too are ones that I personally have never had and I can't see myself necessarily having. So having those little glimpses into those, I appreciate because otherwise I wouldn't get it. Like I wouldn't have nearly as much animal knowledge as I have gained in the last 6 months, 8 months. Like, nope,
By the way, I'm
wouldn't have
still
known.
holding back on that.
Do not, do
I'm still
not.
I'm still I actually, was DMing a friend the other day, and they got over I wanna say over, like, 50 photos of all the animals that I've worked with and, like, their names and my experiences with them. Because I don't talk to anyone about that, like, hardly ever. Because it's just a lot. My whole life is animals.
Can I
And
hear
so
about it? But can I ask for no frogs?
yeah, I kept being like, "I'm sorry, like, I should stop." They're like, "No, give me more pictures. I love all the animals." And I was
Yes.
like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "Yeah." And I'm
Where
like, "Because I have a lot."
I want to subscribe to that newsletter, please.
Yeah. No, I've definitely been holding back, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't hold back. Not on that one. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh, I see where you got your question. Okay, now I'm catching up a little bit.
I'm just going up and down, honestly.
Right? There's so many. I didn't expect to find this in one page. I'm like, oh my god. Uh hmm. I feel like this
There's some fun
okay,
ones too.
this one might overlap, but I think this might be better in context now that we've had some time to hang out and get to know each other a little bit. What's the most noticeable thing about my attitude?
Oh, your attitude. Yeah, we kind of touched on this before,
Mm-hmm.
but I think overall you seem quite unbothered. You kind of just seem like you're doing your own thing, you're in your own lane, and you kind of stand by your own values. You kind of give off
Oh.
unbothered queen.
Oh.
You know, like Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries.
Stop. That's such a compliment.
Yeah, you
Oh
kind of
my
give off those
god.
vibes. You kind of just doing your own thing and you don't really care what people think.
Oh, that's so reassuring. You don't even know. Like
But I aspire to be that. You just
that's
kind of,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, that's actually that's really good to know because I'm really self-conscious of how much I sometimes stick to my own
No,
because
it's a good thing.
yeah, it 100%
It really
Malmo.
is.
Oh, I appreciate that a lot actually. Like a lot. I'm not gonna cry this stream. I am not gonna cry this stream. I am not gonna cry this stream. I refuse.
It's something that I admired when we first met. I was like, you just well, also you seem really knowledgeable too, and you never felt like the type that would judge me for like my quote unquote stupid questions that I wasn't sure about, and like
Absolutely not.
you also give senpai vibes in the best way possible,
Oh my
or big sister vibes. I don't know.
stop, I'm getting red.
Like I just go to her if I need help with anything, if confused or whatever.
I'm not even a hugger, but I would be right now. Oh, oh, I love that. Okay, your question before I cry. Your question before I cry.
Oh, I went all the way down. Opinions and perceptions. Hold on.
Right?
Let me see. How do you think I respond to compliments? Because it's something I struggle with.
This is where I think our similarities are going to overlap quite a bit. Um, sorry, repeat the question one more time.
How do you think I react to compliments?
React. Okay. I don't know if it goes so far as to not fully believe them when you get them. I don't know if it's that far, but I'm getting the vibe that you're kind of on the same wavelength as me, where there's at least a little bit of doubt to sincerity sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though it's not because of the person giving the compliment, it's just, learned behavior at that point. Because I know for me it is, but and so I'm trying to think, like, I know the VTuber blushes, but let's be honest, both are models. It doesn't take much to blush. Do you get flustered? Because that's like, I want to say like flustered light.
I would say I don't know if there's much that genuinely makes me feel flustered, but I think
Okay.
you're spot on in the sense that I tend to have a little bit of doubt. And I'll
Hmm.
always say thank you and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but a lot of times I think I feel undeserving of it.
Yep.
I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
like did you go like the same way as I did where you didn't really get complimented or like told that you did well
Yes.
growing up? Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So anytime people donate or people compliment me or say nice things to me, I laugh it off and I'm like, "Oh, thanks," or whatever, but like it's honestly it's especially when people
Mm-hmm.
donate or like gift stuff and I'm like, "You don't need to spend that on me. Like, why are you?" And then I
Yes.
don't feel worthy of it. And I'm like, "Well, I need to do something in return. Like, why are you gifting me things especially giving gifts as well. Like, what did I do to deserve this? No, no, don't spend your money on me. Now I got to give something back. So I feel like rather than accept the compliment, I feel like I need to give it back because I don't deserve
1000%.
yeah, I don't deserve to just be complimented or given gifts, you know? It's supposed to be like a give and take, right? Surely.
Hmm. Right. And so a part of me wonders, yeah, if how much of that is based on because we see things as transactional, like not in a negative way. I mean, everything at the base of human social is, but
Mhm.
um I wonder if it's just more apparent to us sometimes.
Mhm.
And so we feel indebted almost, or
Yeah, indebted is a good
yeah.
word. Yeah. Mhm.
Do you want to know what my therapist said to that? Because I have discussed that with her, because she's like, well, how do you deal with that when you stream? Like, because people must say things to you. Like, how do you handle it? And I'm like, my first gut reaction is to deny it,
Mhm.
is to know, like, you don't mean that, or it's not like what, or it's you're just, you're just being nice or whatever. And she said, well, while that's your knee jerk reaction, ultimately you're rejecting that person, because
Mm.
on their side, that's communication, that's, expressing interest, that's whatever, and you're rejecting that attention. And I was like, huh,
That is true. I feel
I
like
never
I
really
would
considered the other side.
yeah, I feel like you think about it in the sense that if you were on the other side and you were giving someone a compliment or giving them a
Hmm.
gift and they're like, "Oh, thanks, but, like, you're wrong." You'd be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah,
What do
exactly.
you mean
I
I'm
never really
wrong?"
considered it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And so I've been trying to work on that, to just, I don't have, and I think her words are really good, where you don't have to understand it, you just have to accept it.
Mm,
And I'm
yeah.
like, okay,
That's
that's
true.
fair. That's fair.
That is really true. But with big gifts especially,
I
because
know.
I've had friends give
Oh,
me big gifts and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa. Are you sure? Whoa, hold on."
right? And I was
And
like,
then I get
oh my
self-conscious.
God.
I'm like, was I talking about it so much to the point that they want to gift it to me out of pity? Like,
Yep.
what's happening right? Like,
Did I guilt them
what?
into this?
Should I
Yes.
stop
Yep.
talking about myself and my problems? Now I don't want to say anything because now I'm like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
they must be giving it to me because they feel bad or something.
Yeah. And then you go down that rabbit hole of like, oh my God, did I like manipulate them in doing this? Am I
Yeah.
manipulative? And it's, oh my God,
Yes, I feel you. God, I feel you.
girl, you didn't have to go that far.
We knew it was gonna get deep. Do you have something to say too, Link? Yeah. You have something to
Link's like,
say?
accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're on what, 17 of 21. Okay, we're doing good. Uh let's find a fun one. Uh Jesus. Am I in the
You heard
heavy section
doggo?
or
That's my
something?
dog. It's my dog Link. He just finished his food, so
uh
he gets the after food zoomies, you know?
Jesus. Sorry,
Yeah,
some of these are really
I
heavy.
scrolled quite far down to just to find other things. And they have like lighter topics, futures and aspirations and
Yeah,
lighthearted.
that's where I'm in now.
Those are
I'm like,
fun too,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's I am like, oh, this is interesting, and then I'm like, oh, that's not lighter. That's not lighter at all, but it is interesting. I know it. No, this could be fun. This could be fun. It's just worded very heavily.
Mm.
How do you think I'll deal with aging or the passing of time?
Um. Hmm. I feel like you'd be the type to accept it and maybe I don't know. I don't know if you're like me where you initially had that fear, but you're growing to accept it and see it as a privilege. I don't know.
Mm,
Um, like, because I know you have your chronic illness as well.
mm,
So I don't know if again I'm kind of comparing it to mine where I'm just here like I feel like I'm blessed to be able to get older because sometimes illness can really
mm-hmm.
change your life. And so as I get older, and I know online especially people are always like, you're over 20, you're old. And it's like, no. You're actually blessed to be
Right?
able to reach those ages, and old is like I don't even know what I'd classify as old. 60 or something? Like
I
You
didn't
think
think I
of it
was
in
old until I got on the internet. Yeah.
the internet, but the internet is the internet, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, I don't know. Is it similar in that aspect?
Yes and no. I'm going to be so honest. I don't know how much this goes into my inability to like really I've never been able to picture myself older
Mm.
ever at any age.
Mhm.
So I feel like every year that I have, it feels almost like that like intense imposter syndrome because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing it right, but I also can't picture what right
Mhm.
is
Yeah, yeah.
every year. And so I'm like, old person Lynn, I'm like, I don't know what that bitch is gonna be like. I have no idea how that'll work.
Mhm.
I should probably be just as confused. I mean, that's probably going to be the same. And
Yeah.
so I think I deal with it by holding on to the little nuggets of like I'm gonna be excited for like senior discounts.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be excited to be entitled to a seat on the bus. Like those little things where I'm like, here's my little silver linings that I'm gonna get to do when I'm old and crusty. I can't wait.
Yeah. Mhm.
But otherwise,
Well,
I
if
don't
it
like to think
makes you
about it.
feel better, I think every adult kind of feels that imposter syndrome. I really I've some are just more put together than others, but to be honest, I feel like we all don't really know what we're doing. We're all feeling a little lost, and we're all learning as we go, you know?
Hmm.
Every single one of us has only been this age once. So, we're all
True,
learning.
true.
Uh, so in that aspect, at least, we're all in this together.
That's true. I do have a bad habit that if I think too long about it, I ends up going down that existential dread, and so I try not to
Oh,
think about it
yeah.
because I'm like,
I
slow down.
avoid it. Yeah. I also avoid it.
As soon as I start doing math, I'm like, no, okay, stop, 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 stop. Like,
When I start
not gonna.
feeling that dread, though, I like to watch shows or look at the people in my life who are older, and I'm like,
Yep.
but like look at the people that I admire, and I'm like, I want to be like them when I'm older, or I wish I want to do
Yes.
something like that, And that kind of helps
Mm-hmm.
make me feel better,
You're so
I used to
right.
have that dread of being like, once I hit this age, I can't do this again, or it's never too
Mm,
late to
mm.
try things. It really isn't. I'm watching this one figure skater who's in like her 40s and she just started. She's learning figure
Mm.
skating. Never too late. That's all I'm saying. You want to go
I love
outside?
that.
Yes, you do.
Not while Bubba's doing that. Not to plug Kaiju number 8, but that's also a really big theme in that anime. I'm just saying.
Oh, Kaiji number 8. Really?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the one with that assassin guy? That he's older now and like overweight or whatever, but he's still like an
Sakamoto
assassin.
Days.
Yeah, that one's cool.
So good. So good. Oh, thank you for the head
Mhm.
pats. You know what? I need that.
Poor dog.
Your
Poor
question, madam.
Oh, my question. Let
Mm.
me see. I had one. Do you think I'm more of an optimist or a realist?
I think you are, I would say 70% optimist, 30% realist,
Mhm.
because you do have a little bit of both. I think that you are willing to be optimistic and hope for the best, and you want to hope for the best. But I also think because of, I would even say the things we live with, you do have that nugget of realist there because you've had to deal with reality a lot.
Mhm.
Uh, that is there as well. But I also think you have a pretty strong will to not let that keep you from being optimistic, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I'd say you're actually spot on there. I think I used to be a lot more negative when I was younger, being a teenager and everything.
Mm.
Um, I learned a lot about mental fortitude and mindsets when I was in martial arts. It's like,
Mm.
the meditation and stuff, and then the training was like very intense for me because I was doing Shaolin training.
Okay.
Um, And
I
so
don't,
they taught me a lot about mental fortitude. Shaolin training, if you
mm.
think about the Shaolin monks and stuff from China,
Okay.
um, that type of training was very
Okay.
intense.
Oh, wow.
But I learned a lot about mental fortitude and kind of shifting your mindset. Um, it's being in like a square mindset or like a black and white mindset versus trying to be more flexible. Because I think so many
Mm.
people will see something and they only think in black and white. There's this problem. Well, we can only do this or this, nothing else. And it's like, no, you need to like expand your mind a little and think about all the other things that can happen, right? That kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think that's also part of why I don't tend to panic as much when emergencies are happening
Mm.
or, when bad things happen. I think about what I can do to solve it rather than be like, "Oh god, life is over."
Yep.
Um, so in that sense, I think you're spot on, right? I'm an optimist in the sense that I'm like, "Well, it's bad, but we can still do this and we can still do that."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a realist in the sense where I'm like, "Yeah, it's bad. I know it is, but let's figure it out." If that makes sense.
Like, I feel
So
like you're the type of person that if I came to you with a problem, you would help me solve it, but at the same time, you would also be the optimist reassurance that would
mhm.
come with that. Like it, because I find with some people you get one or the other. With you, I find I would get a little bit of both, a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Yeah.
important too with when someone's coming to you with a problem or they're venting or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. First off, make sure they want advice because not everyone does. They
Yes.
just want to vent. But
Learned that the hard way.
also, sometimes people are coming to you for that reassurance, but they're too scared to say that they want it.
Mm-hmm.
They're too
Mm-hmm.
so. The easiest example I can think of is when a girl is like, "Oh, I'm not happy with how I look." They don't want you to say like, "Well, you could fix this." They wanna be like, "No, but you're beautiful." You know?
Yes.
They don't want you to be like, "Oh, have you considered getting a haircut?" No, because then that means you agree with them. No, they want you to say, "But honey, you're beautiful." You know?
Right? That's yes.
Sometimes you
Absolutely.
need a little bit of both.
Yep.
Because
I
then they'll
agree.
open up and see like, "Well, I know you think I'm beautiful, but I just think I could do this and that." And then you go from there, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
See.
I don't
Yeah.
know where I was going with that, but anyways.
No, it's valid. I get it. Also, I found the fun ones were good.
The fun ones, yes.
I found the fun ones that aren't about like existential dread. um. Oh shit. Here's a very light one. If I were a season, which one would I be and why?
Mm. You give me fall vibes.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
you give
season.
me fall vibes. Yeah, it's mine too. Well, you
Yay.
just you're very calm.
Mm.
Um, you give cozy vibes, a little bit
Huh.
sleepy vibes, for no pun
Mm-hmm.
intended.
Mm.
Um, and just overall, it's fall is a season for when you're winding down, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like you are the type of person, the energy that you give is the type of energy where it's like, I could start winding down with her. Yeah. So I think
I
that's
like
kind
that.
of what I
I like
think.
that a lot.
Mhm.
So I like the perspective on it too. Like it's because that was the second question I read that I was like, how the fuck would you even like try and personify a season? And I'm like, oh
Mm.
yeah, I like that. That I like. Thank you. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Good to know. Like that's one of the things that I was kind of hoping I was putting out, but I didn't know if it was being perceived. So that's good to know.
Yeah, you are definitely.
Yay.
Let me see if I can't find a
You
fun
are
one.
up. Yeah.
Hmm. Question: what would I be doing if I were a full-time YouTuber? I wonder. That's crazy.
You need to stop proposing
uh
me hypotheticals. I love that that's
this
on
is a
there.
fun one just because we're still getting to know each other. But what's a
Mm.
random fact you know about me that you think most people don't?
Oh, that most people don't? Oh, hell.
Hmm.
Random fact.
Just from our conversations, probably. It's kind of a tough one, though.
It is. I'm sure you do, Brando. I'm trying to
Brando,
think. 'Cause,
I
like,
know. This guy.
I don't think I know one that's like that no one else knows because it's usually
No,
just
no, no. It's
fun
most
facts I've
people.
learned.
Don't
Like,
exclude my best friends, because But excuse Brando.
hmm. Because I know the thing I latched on recently was but you said it on stream, so it's really not a big thing. But I like would never have guessed until you said it. The how into rings you were. Because I don't know why, but I never got jewelry vibes from you.
Mm.
I don't know why. It just, yeah. And so when you were really into rings, I'm like, you know what? In the way you described it, I was like, yeah, I appreciate the look of them, but I wouldn't personally be aware. So I was like, so when you were describing like why they're so attractive to you, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I get that.
No, that's something most people don't know, I think. Unless you know me in person.
And like, I
but-
guess you were there. Yeah, I guess. But that,
Yeah.
for me, that's a fact I wouldn't have guessed. Like, if I hadn't been to the stream, I would have never guessed that you were a ring person. To be
Oh,
totally
really?
honest.
How come?
I don't know. Just maybe just because I don't find that they're mentioned. I mean, I think it came up because of the hand stream, to be totally honest. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it came up.
Do I give off like a different fashion type vibes?
I don't know. It's just like for some reason, I don't know why, but Biel, I would immediately peg as a jewelry person.
Mm.
Maybe it's just like the extrovert versus introvert so much. I have a hard time trying to imagine what type of jewelry introverts would have because they are so introverted. Maybe that's it. Because I always
think of me as
I
like
think of jewelry, yeah,
that character in the anime that's very quiet but is like very
Yes.
fashionable. That's me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing, because I think of jewelry as like that outward reflection, and so I'm like, I don't know what that would be necessarily. But then when you said rings, I'm like, that actually makes so much sense. That makes so much
Shiny.
sense.
So
Yeah.
shiny.
And then
Goblin.
oh yeah,
Bubba seems more country
More
like. I used to
country-like?
be. I grew up in the farm, so obviously.
Yes,
And then I
maybe
think
yeah.
the past 5 years, I started living alone, and I had more independence, so I started really be able to explore fashion, and I really, really loved it. So yeah.
Maybe that's the thing too, is because I assume, like, this is me assuming your job, mind you, would be more hands-on. And not to say that you can't have hands-on jobs when you wear rings, but I also know a lot of people that have with hands-on jobs avoid rings in general, just as that type of jewelry, simply because
Yeah.
it is
Yeah, yeah.
inconvenient. And
I
so
don't
that's
wear my
probably
rings
another
at
reason.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I
just
do
wouldn't
wear
have guessed it.
earrings at work, but I don't wear my rings at work. But I'm known at work for the girl that always has a different pair of earrings every day. And I used to have coworkers that'd be like, "Oh, I wonder what she's gonna wear today. What's the theme for today?" Because I have so many earrings. So yeah, definitely
How
that
would you take it if
one
I
quirk
said that?
girl.
Not fully, but there's parts of you that just give me Luna Lovegood vibes.
That's a compliment. I love her.
Good.
I definitely give out those vibes probably in real life, which is probably why I don't fit in most places.
I love that.
But
It's like,
just living my
come
life.
on, Bubba, tell me about the Nargles. I want to hear about the Nargles.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Sometimes my fashion is like hers too. So honestly.
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. She was ahead of her time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is an interesting one. And you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that one because there's no good answer, to be honest. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this would be interesting considering your job. If I could talk to animals, which animal would I want to communicate with first?
What you would want to communicate? I
Apparently,
mean, I don't know your favorite animal actually, so
I don't even think I have one, to be honest.
actually I think she'd want to talk to a frog, to be honest.
Violence. Feel attacked.
Okay, this is purely because what I know of you. I feel like you'd want to talk to a cat. You guys would get along. What very sleepy, very chill vibes. I feel like you'd want to talk to a cat and just ask them, about their napping habits.
You know what? I get why that would be the assumption.
We can nap together. But you're
I don't know
allergic,
if I-
right?
Sorry?
Are you allergic to cats?
No, I just don't like
Oh,
them.
you're not. That's sad. Oh,
I
they'd be
just don't
perfect
have a good
companion for
track
you.
record with them.
Ugh.
I just haven't met a friendly cat.
Let me
Every
just
cat
say,
I've met has been an asshole.
every single cat hater that I've met has changed their mind when they met my cat.
Not a hater. I just wouldn't get one.
Because she is the most squishy, lovable, floppy, cute little kitten ever. She unfortunately passed away, but she was the
Oh,
sweetest. And I've had people that were like deathly afraid of cats meet her and fall in love with her. So
Don't get me wrong. I probably would appreciate, honestly, yeah, a friendly cat that like just isn't a dick. I probably would like them. I just haven't met one.
You haven't had the opportunity yet.
No. Everyone I've met has just been. So maybe if it was a nice one, like a chill one, yeah, probably. We'd have a lot to talk about. Not wrong.
One day we'll get you there. Okay, I have a question. What's something quirky or odd that I do without thinking?
Do I out you like this? I don't want.
You're more than welcome to.
Okay. I don't even know if you do it as much because I don't know I do it until recently. Every now and then I'll hear a little sound either in VC or when you're streaming and I realize it's a stim.
Oh, yeah.
Just every now and then, and I just don't notice it until I'm like, "Oh, wait. What is that?" And it's like it's not even like a regular it's not a regular like interval or anything. It just happens sometimes and I'm like, "Oh, it's Bubba." Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's the new one. And I just don't even question it because my first thought is I'm like, well, like same. Yeah. And
well, because everyone knows about my singing stim. I do that constantly.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, yeah, right? Sometimes though I question because I don't know if you know this, and I think this is a trend with people who do it. A lot of the time vocal sims are like freakishly good at imitating whatever it is. Like it's usually some kind of sound we've heard. And so half the time I don't realize it's you for the longest time because it just sounds like something that is either in the room with you or I'm hearing it elsewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And so every now and then I'm just like, oh, it's Bubba. Oh.
I didn't even know I had that talent. What the freak?
It's true. It's almost like unintentional parrots sometimes. And I'm like,
I do mimic things quite often. This is true.
Yeah.
But,
So sometimes, and I kind of like it because I'm like, I get it. I get it. But so much of it is we don't even realize. And so I'm just like, I don't even know if Bubba realizes.
Yeah, I never know how much people can hear because a lot of it is like my hand ones. I crack my knuckles a lot too.
You know how long it took me to realize it was your hands?
Yeah, it's my hands.
It took me so long.
Yeah. I just recently discovered I can make hummingbird noises because I used to imitate them a lot.
Wait, what's the sound?
I think, can I do it right now?
It...
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it though.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay, I've been trying to identify that one for so long because I knew it was you, but I'm like, what is that? But okay, that's what it is. It is
hummingbirds that fly around, and I
yes.
start imitating them.
At first, I'm like, is that just like Bubba like sucking her teeth? Like, what is that? I'm hearing it, but okay, hummingbird. That is so cool though. Like, especially your job, like the amount of ones that you must just pick up and not even realize. I pick up text sounds and I didn't even realize.
Really?
I can make like the tippy tap sound from like an iPhone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the bubble type sounds. Yeah.
Wait, now you have to show it off.
I don't know if it can pick it up, but it's like.
I heard it briefly. I heard a tiny bit of it.
Yeah. It's because of the frequency. It can't pick it up sometimes, but it's.
Yeah.
Ugh. And so I'm just. I do that sometimes, literally when I'm typing, and I'm like, I gotta stop.
Man, I wish I could whistle so I could imitate birds even better, but I can't whistle.
Ooh. Really? Like at all?
No, I'm really bad at it. Could do maybe like one teeny tiny whistle, but no, I can't whistle. I've tried.
I've never learned to properly whistle, to be totally fair. I don't do it right. I don't know what I do, but I don't do it right.
I think the people that can whistle full tunes they don't realize how talented that is. My goodness. Here's a good one. If I were a flavor of ice cream, which one would I be? If you were a flavor of ice cream. You give me like coffee and chocolate vibes.
That is such a compliment. Oh my goodness.
Coffee and chocolate. Because mine's easy. You know, if I was a flavor, what would you be? Strawberry, obviously. But yours.
Macchiato?
Yeah, you kind of give me those vibes. I've only had coffee a few times, but like you just give me like mature but sweet vibes. Yeah.
An affogato. Ooh. Where they put espresso on top of vanilla. Ooh.
You're saying so many words and I don't know what they mean, but yes.
That's okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Good to
Yeah,
know.
that was
I'll take
that
that.
one.
But coffee, okay, yeah. I one of my favorite ice cream flavors is quite literally cappuccino.
Oh, really? Let's
Yeah.
go.
It was yummy.
Hi, somehow I was spot on. Let's go.
Spot on.
If I were a character from a movie, who would I be? You kind of already answered this, didn't you?
Well, a little bit. I'm trying to
Luna
think.
Lovegood vibes.
I think I think I've said this in stream multiple times. It wouldn't be from a movie. It's from an anime. And
Mhm.
again, this isn't your entire personality, but when I was watching the show, I was like, oh, that's Bubba. That's literally just Bubba. This is gamer Bubba specifically. Sunraku from Shangri-La Frontier.
Sun.
You're not gonna like it if you Google it.
No, let me
Because-
Google it. How do you spell his name?
Sunrako from Shangri-La Frontier. He is the guy with the bird mask.
Bird. You know what? I'll take it.
Would you like to
Wait,
know
but
why he looks
why?
like that? So actually the mask is primarily the reason. Because I find like you're very fun. I like that you can keep things lighthearted, but I also know that you are someone who, as we've seen when you learn characters and rivals, you're very good at breaking down the mechanics of a character or a unit or a game and learning them and how they work for you. Like you're very analytical in the best kind of way when it comes to learning that. I wish I had that talent. And this character is like that. He the reason for example, he has that head is because he started a new game. He's and the first thing he did was he sold off all of his starter gear, like his clothing, for a better weapon because he figured like he knew he could dodge, so he'd be fine. But he didn't want to run around with no clothes, and so he grabbed a mask as his only piece of clothing, and that was the only one available for new players.
I never saw myself in that way. Huh.
And yeah, I don't know if you realize how much of a skill that is, but yeah, absolutely. And to not let it be your whole personality is a whole other thing too, because you have those really sweaty people who that is their entire thing, and God forbid if you question them on anything.
Honestly, I just assumed it was hyperfixating. I just assumed,
mean-
I want to understand this. I want to be good at this. But I've always accepted I'm not going to be like a pro in anything, but I at least want to learn how this works and break it
Nothing
down.
wrong
Yeah,
with
but
that.
I've never really
But
thought
the fact that
about
you
it.
can do that on your own is very impressive. I can't. Like you can see things and read things. Like, and when I say read, I'm talking like the instructions or the manuals or the whatever, and understand them. I still can't half the time because I'll read these things and like these are just words that make no sense together for me.
I mean, pictures make it easy for sure. And
I mean,
videos.
yes, too. I find I'm the type of person who I'll see pictures and I'm like, but unless my situation is an exact match, I cannot apply it. And so I'm continuously impressed by you for that. I hope you realize.
Oh, that's such a compliment. What the heck?
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it comes from me having to be independent since I was a kid. So I kind of had to learn how to fix my own problems. Probably where a lot of it comes from. And then analyzing things just to, read the room. Yeah.
That's just it.
Probably.
Analyzing is one thing because I'll give credit like MC. I would argue that I can read a room. Executing what to do in that room after I read it is a whole other thing.
Well, like you said, it's mimicry for me. I start like imitating what other people do who are really good at socializing. For example, Brando, right? I'll see what he does, and I'm like, what does he do to make people laugh? How does he get people to like calm down or whatever? I'm like, okay, he does this and that. All right, let me try doing that too. That's just one example. I did that with my brother and sister because they're both very charismatic people. So that's just kind of how I learn. Is just
I need to get me some mirror people. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, mirroring.
Got
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of mirror people in my life, so maybe that's my problem. I need to find good people to mimic.
Yeah, I learn from a lot of people. Even just something as simple as watching a TV show or watching streamers or something
Mm,
helps me learn. Take
true.
a little mental notes every time. Like, oh, I like the way they said that. I like the way they did that. I want to try that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I'm continuously impressed by that. So yeah, that reminded me. So when I see all that character, I was like, that's Bubba.
I've seen this. I'm seeing. You know what? I'm also. You know what? Just. I'll take the compliment. I'm buff too. Yeah.
Damn right.
I'm still in my gym clothes right now. God, I'm dying.
Maybe, you know what? If you want even more accurate, well, no, you know what? I shouldn't say that. There's another character in that show that I find. You know what? No, I lied. I don't think that's you. I don't think so. I think that might be the people around you, but I don't think it's you.
Oh.
There's a character in that show that's an absolute menace.
Mm.
And yeah, no, never mind. Not you, but I feel like you'd help for sure.
What? Probably
You
Brando,
wouldn't
though.
be innocent, but yeah, it might. Oh, fuck, you know what it is, Brando. It absolutely is Brando.
I enable him too much.
Brando is pencil, 100%. This
Oh
character
my god.
lured a bunch of NPCs to a outskirts of town, and then like dragged the princess behind them just to see how far they could go out of bounds of the city that they were like programmed to be in.
Oh my god.
It's like,
Yep.
bro, just to see. Goodness me. This is kind of in the same vein, but if I were a Disney villain, who would I be?
A Disney villain.
There's only one that could possibly break my heart.
I don't know why, but my first thought was Maleficent.
Oh, thank God. Okay, cool.
What were you thinking?
I'm like, as long as it's not what's her face from the Rescuers, we're fine.
Oh, Madam. What was her name? Madam Pim.
Is it
or
Madame
something?
Medusa?
Something like that.
Oh,
Her? Why would
God,
I?
she.
I didn't even think about her.
I had to look her up for something recently, and I'm just like, oh God, she was a horrendous woman. God.
She really was.
Ugh.
I was thinking Maleficent.
That, you know what? I'll take that. You didn't
Right.
invite me.
Yeah, very calculating as well. But she still kind of gave a way out. She was like,
Yeah.
you offended me, so you're gonna die. But also, maybe you can figure a way out of it. Just,
Tough but fair. Tough but fair. Oh, I'll take it. Or Scar. Okay.
Scar. Why Scar? Do you have an evil a sibling you're very jealous of, and then you just want to, I don't know,
I'm good.
take their place?
Not particularly. The way I would never want to be a leader. I'm good. Hard pass. I would be more the character of, oh, good, the prince was born. Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Great. That means I'm not on the line of succession anymore, right? Oh, thank God. Okay, awesome. Oh my God, I'm Jinshi. Oh no. Okay.
Jinshi's grown on me. He has. I love it when he pouts. It's so cute.
So adorable. You are up.
Okay. Actually, we already kind of answered this. What do you think is my greatest strength? This is a pretty all-around question.
Greatest strength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know what it is. I just got to try a way to like phrase it properly. Because I feel like in any way I phrase it is downplaying it. Your ability to make anyone feel welcome, I would say, is your biggest strength. Because you could be one-on-one, you could be in a group. You have this strength of like just, I don't even know if it's intentional, of just having the right tone or the right vibe. Like you match energy so well that I just find
The
you're
mimicry.
very good at Maybe. You're very good at making people feel at ease or comforted or welcome in the
Mhm.
space that they may be new in,
Mhm.
which is an
I've gotten
amazing
that a
skill to
few
have.
times. That's something I've worked on actually.
No
So
doubt.
that actually makes me happy. Yeah, because I've always hated it all growing up. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. You join a group and
Oh,
you can instantly tell they don't want you there.
oh.
So I never want anyone else to feel that way. So I always do my best to kind of be welcoming in that sense. I don't like it when people get over like talked over, for example. I always do my best in VCs to be like, whoa, hold on, let this other person speak, or what were you saying, or whatever. 'Cause nothing is worse than feeling like you're being ignored or talked over or unwelcome. So I think definitely it's intentional. I think sometimes nowadays, because I've gotten so used to it, it's probably unintentional, but it's something
Mhm.
I'm always trying to be aware of. Hmm. But it makes me happy. So many people have mentioned it. Like, yippee! I'm glad I made
Absolutely.
people feel that way.
Especially, I think, in the spaces that we move in, it's something that is uncommon,
Hmm.
largely because I think, like, not specifically the people we hang out with and not even intentionally, I do think that the whole main character energy is very strong in these spaces
Yeah, being a
without
VTuber
people even
especially.
realizing. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
And so I think when we have someone who is almost such a stark contrast to that energy, it's very apparent,
Mm.
and it's very refreshing, to be honest.
I
Yeah,
do my best, but thank you, I
you do
appreciate
your
it.
very best.
I do my very best.
um, how do you? You know what? This is gonna be good. This is gonna be a good one that I'm probably gonna bring up to my therapist. How do you perceive my level of trustworthiness?
Like, how much I
Trustworthiness.
trust
There we go.
you or how you trust others?
How do you perceive my level of trustworthiness? So how do you perceive my level of being trustworthy? Of
Okay,
yeah,
like how other people would trust you. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I had to dissect it in my
I think
head
you're
too.
very trustworthy. You don't give the vibes of being two-faced at all or manipulative at all. I think that is part of just being neurospicy, right? Where it's
Mm,
like you're very straightforward, and I think if someone were to tell you a secret or ask for help, you would not really laugh at them or betray them or any of that. So very trustworthy, I would say. You definitely That's why I said you gave big sister vibes and why I can always come to you if I have questions about things because you do feel very trustworthy. So
I appreciate that
yeah.
because it's one thing I try to be, and then sometimes I get it almost thrown back at me, and so it's like that's very reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
It's
that.
it can be difficult being that person where people come to you to ask for help, but
Hmm.
you don't always get that same energy back, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's part of like we give ourselves so much. We give
Yep.
ourselves away to other people so much that then
Hmm.
we get burned because you end up getting used because you're so straightforward and so kind and so willing to help.
Hmm.
People kind of take advantage of that. But at the same time, I think it's a trait that you shouldn't lose because you're staying true to yourself. And I said this before at the very start. You've always been the type of person unbothered and doing your own thing. And I think it's something that is rare, especially nowadays, where people are always not always, but a lot of people come to other people with manipulation or with the intent of something else. So I think it's really special that you're able to have that straightforward attitude.
Thank you for that.
You're
It's
welcome.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna be okay.
Deep breaths,
Please
deep
go.
breaths. Okay, let
Please
me
take
find
your turn.
okay. Um, mm, what is something you think I'm particularly sensitive about?
um, Sensitive about. Mm, I'm just kind of gonna hang up on the sensitivity part because I don't know if it's. Mm,
I think about a lot then, rather than sensitivity.
maybe, yeah, because I'm trying to think like, because my brain immediately goes to things like that you've already set boundaries for, and so I'm like, well, I wouldn't say you're sensitive about it. I feel like you've been very clear in your expectations about it, you know? It's maybe more like sensitivity. Sorry, my brain is like loading.
You're good.
Blue screen.
Hiya, chat.
I'm
Hiya, Jekyll.
trying to not read it because it's throwing me off too.
I'll talk to them for you.
Thank you. See, I'm trying to think of the only ones that I've really been exposed to are like, I would say you're almost most sensitive to yourself, if that makes sense. Like the
Welcome, sir.
almost being hyper
I'll bring
aware
you
of
some
yourself.
tea. It's not good tea, but it's hot.
Gotta wait.
When you're frozen, and I'll bring you a
Hi,
rag. 'Cause
BL.
when I'm frozen,
Hello,
might not drip.
friends.
Nice
Hello,
big soba.
welcome
We
in.
make Best soba. Honest. Bad tea.
Can I
Great
get a shout
soba,
out for
okay?
BL, please and thank you. Hello, welcome in. We're doing we're doing some therapy exercises. I think we're about
21
halfway
questions.
through. Yeah, I think we're on question 11 ish. Somewhere around there. I'm not gonna do real tit for tat, but about 11 or so. Hello.
Hello.
We're asking questions back and forth to each other about ourselves to try and get like a perspective on, are we learning things? We are actually, yeah. I am. I don't know about Boba, but I am.
Me
yeah.
too. No, I am.
I feel like I came into this not really knowing who I am when it comes to like the one that moves through the world, you know? And at least now I feel like I have a little bit like of a straw man. I have a little bit of an outline. I have a sketch of like in my head of like, okay, I understand who Lynn is to the world right now. So that's been very helpful. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, you honestly answered the question pretty perfectly when you said I'm most sensitive to myself. That's true. That is true. I hurt my own feelings all the time.
That too. I think you're more, yeah, I feel like you're almost more hypersensitive to not just what you say, but what you do, how you do things. I think you're probably the most sensitive to yourself when it comes to almost setting boundaries for yourself even.
All the time. I'll accidentally say something or do something in a conversation. And the end of the conversation, I'm like, okay, so I'm never doing that again. I'm never saying that again. I'm never asking this question again. We're not doing that again. Lock that away. Ooh. The other person will be like, you're fine. Trust me. And I'm like, nope, you're lying to me. I'm never doing that again.
It's the lying to me part again. It's like, wrong.
I don't believe you. Yeah.
We talked about our first impressions, BL, because you were largely a part of that. Because you're the serial friender among us, who then just collects us all and then makes us play together like dolls.
She's like, these are my two friends, and you get to talk to each other now. Yippee.
I was talking to people. I'm like, oh, okay, so I did all the wrong. Yep. Have you ever gone halfway through a conversation and then only as your brain catches up, you realize you're like, oh, we're talking about different things. Oh, they're so much worse than I thought we were. Oh, no. And you want to like leave the conversation?
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
I never gone to a single job interview.
Oh, no. Poor BL.
BL, I gave off calm vibes. Calm. I mean, was I standing beside BL at the time? That might have been why. Might have been contextual.
I said you gave off serious calm vibes.
Serious calm.
Unbothered vibes. Yeah.
Some others would call that numb. That's funny.
This is true.
I'm so
but not
calm,
always.
for sure.
Sometimes it's just autism. Sometimes we just don't really realize we should be bothered by
true.
something.
It's
Some other people
true.
are like, they said that really offensive thing to you. Why aren't you upset? I'm like, oh, did they? I didn't realize. Oh,
Right? I went through a
yeah,
full job interview one time, and it wasn't until after I realized that they were bullying me.
dude, yeah.
Two middle-aged women were bullying me in a job interview. I had no idea because they didn't like that I used the word bandwidth.
What? Okay.
Well, they asked me if I had any questions about the job, and I'm gonna be honest, up until that point, they made the job sound absolutely fucking horrendous, and I wasn't gonna take it. And they sounded
Mhm.
miserable. And so my question was, well, do you find that you get like support when you need it in your role, or do you find that your bandwidth is constantly stretched thin and are needing to pick up the slack yourself?
Mhm.
And instead of answering the question, because I couldn't, thank you for the follow. They one looked
I
at the other and
know.
said, "I don't know, how's your bandwidth?" And I was like, so shitty, I guess.
I got teased slash bullied in Valorant game once where I was just calming, whatever. And they're like, "Oh man, has anyone ever told you that you give off tism vibes?" And I was like, "What does
Sorry.
that mean?" Because at the time I didn't know what that meant. And they're like,
Oh,
"You know, tism." And I was like, What does that mean? I don't get it." And then someone in my group was like, "Bubba, that means like autism, autistic." And
literally just playing into it.
so the guys were like trying to make fun of me and they're like, "Yeah, like autism." And I was like, "But I am autistic." And everyone started laughing even more. And I'm like, "Why are we laughing? What's happening?" Didn't understand. I just
I
knew
would
that
play into right at that point
they're
though.
trying to make
Really,
fun
jokes
of
on you.
me.
It's like I am though. What?
Why are
What?
we laughing? I don't understand. And everyone's like, "No, Papa, no, don't say that." I was like, "What? What's
Wait,
wrong? Why is
why?
everyone?"
Not
Genuinely
me.
did
Not me.
not
Me
know.
being like, I would say thank you for noticing. Can you aim a shot now?
Oh god.
So
Still remember that.
funny.
I think they were trying to make fun of me, but I just was like, "Huh? Okay."
Oh man,
Alright.
that's the whole reason I actually went and got a diagnosis, huh? I had a university friend who her brothers were autistic and she was ADHD, and she was
Mhm.
telling me about the accommodation process for her to get her note taking program or whatever
Yeah.
and a laptop for it. And she's like, "Well, you get it." And she's looking at me and I'm like, what do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you're autistic." And I'm like, nope, not that I know of. What do you mean?" What? She's like,
Wow, damn,
"Oh,
she just outed you like
she's
that.
like, oh, I am so sorry." And I'm like, should should I look into that? I'm like, what do you mean? Hold on. I mean, let's round back to that.
Wait, what? I got diagnosed without asking for it. I walked into the psychologist's office and she literally sat with me for a 30-minute session. At the end of it, she's like, "Yeah, you're autistic." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yep." Like instantly.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh," I was like 13 years old and she knew like off the bat. Oh, okay, cool.
How do you brush your teeth? I'm like, well, depends. What day is it? Mm.
Socks on or socks off? Mm.
I feel like my chat has tried to diagnose me, but they fail. Never let chat diagnose you with anything. That's just a rule. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Oh. Okay, sorry. Whose turn is it?
I think it's my turn.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna
If you
do
got
something
one.
lighthearted.
Okay.
Hmm. If I had to choose a favorite time of day, would I choose morning, afternoon, or night?
Oh. I f- I might be very wrong on this, but I feel like I would say night
Yeah,
because
I'm a night person.
okay, great. Perfect. Because I was like, I'm trying to think like I do find you're definitely more I say active at night, but like because what I can see,
Mm-hmm.
but also in the way that it's like I mean cozy, prime example, Apothecary last night, which by the way, did you
Mm-hmm.
guys finish the season or no?
We did. Yes, yes.
Fuck. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts about it.
I love
I want
it.
to be there for it, damn it. But yeah, it's just it just seems like more of the cozy vibe, and I don't, is there any part of the day that you don't necessarily like?
Oh, I fucking hate mornings. I'm not a morning
Okay.
person.
I
Can't do
wasn't sure if
mornings.
you were like just kind of
Oh
neutral
my
about them or
god,
if
I
you
want to
hated that.
murder
Okay.
everyone in the morning. No,
Same.
I can't. You
Same.
wake me up before 9 a.m., it's murder. Go to jail. I can't. I hate mornings.
I wasn't sure if I was projecting if I said that because same, but I'm like, no, that could just be me just like putting that on
Nope.
Bubba.
Mornings
Okay.
mornings are for very slowly getting up, bed rotting for like 2 hours, and then getting up
Oh, I wish.
eventually. Afternoons are for napping, and nighttime
Yep.
is hello everyone, I'm alive. Hello, hello, talk to me. Hi, hello.
Oh my god, you're just me. Oh my god. Literally me in the week on the weekends.
Yep.
I can't do it because of my job during the week, but I so
Yeah,
would.
but see,
if
my
I did.
my job is on the
Oh.
weekend, so everyone's awake and up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm like dead. But then during the week,
True.
everyone has their normal jobs, and I'm like, why is everyone? Where is everyone? Come back! Why is no one
Where's
answering?
everybody?
Hello, wake up! I want to talk. Yeah.
I've debated because I do miss it because I'm the same as you. I find that I'm just, I don't know, more not necessarily even productive. I just find I'm more alive at night. And so there's some nights where I'm like, I should just bang some time and just like take a random weekday off and just enjoy that schedule for a day where I normally wouldn't. I should just do that.
Honestly,
'Cause
even though
fuck it.
everyone like my schedule doesn't align with people because of it, I still really love that I work like weekends,
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday instead of the week. I just
Mhm,
feel like
mhm,
it gives me so much more time. Plus, everyone's
mhm.
working, so I can go to the gym and there's no one around. I can go to the store, there's no one around. I could do everything
Oh,
alone and no
true.
one's there to bother me. I go on my hikes during the week, no one's around. It's so nice.
That
So,
would be nice. Oh my goodness.
yeah, I kind of
That
really
actually
love
sounds
it.
so blissful.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's an interesting one. What's your perception of how I handle stress or anxiety?
Ooh. Um, I feel like you're the type that handles it very quietly. You kind of bottle it up a little bit. Just from what I know. I feel like you're the type that like you have stress or anxiety happen to you, but you don't really let out that it's happening unless someone knows you very well. And then you'll kind of do like
Mm,
a quiet cry at home or something when you're all alone. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of the vibes that you give off.
sorry, quiet cry just sent me a little bit.
Quiet as in no one knows, but you're you know.
That's fair. I don't think you're wrong. Um, I know I used to definitely be like that for sure. I used to bottle up to the point until I got a panic attack,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's no hiding that. Um, you're not wrong. I don't know if I've gotten better or worse because I think I have less stress now with
Mm-hmm.
my with the changes from this past year, but at the same time, I feel like those changes have made me almost less sensitive to when I do have stress or anxiety, and so now I find I struggle even realizing
Mm-hmm.
before the panic attack. Sometimes I'll just have a panic attack and I'm like, where is this coming from? What's wrong?
Yeah.
Like what's wrong? Like I didn't know anything was wrong. Like what's happening?
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Kind
you're
yeah, I
not
get that.
wrong. Yeah.
You probably have gotten better at it, but I mean, habits are hard to grow out of, so you probably still have a
Mm,
little bit of that on your own.
mm.
But do you talk to people now? Like, if you are stressed about things, do you kind of let it out a little bit here and there?
Um, I think it's I would say no, not intentionally, only because I don't realize I'm stressed, so I don't think to bring it
Mm.
up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't really notice it now, I guess. It's so subtle. You know what? I take that back. I feel like it's almost more like burnout now, where I'm just like mentally tired,
Yeah. Mhm.
not physically. But I also don't realize whether that's just like, am I just in a rut because of the season? Am I, what is it? But I think maybe that's why I try and throw in things like this, where it's just something different
Yeah.
and hoping and praying that that'll make it go away.
I I'm also very similar. Sometimes I honestly have to be a lot more aware of stress now because of my illness. Because
Mm-hmm.
before that, I was having episodes and not really realizing why. And the doctor would always ask,
Mm.
"Well, are you stressed?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's normal, like normal stress, right? Like work and school and whatever."
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Well, you need to start like being aware of it and doing things to counteract it." So I've just naturally started doing things that would lower stress even if I'm not stressed. Naturally going out more, exercising more, hanging out with my dog more, reading books, doing
Mm.
whatever that will lower my stress rather than let it build up in the first place. So I just
Mm.
I just naturally try to prevent it from happening. I mean, it's going to happen regardless, but and just managing it because I'm kind of like you. I can't recognize when I'm really stressed a lot of the
Mm.
times. And then boom, whoa, episode hits and they're like, "Well, you were stressed." And I was like, "Well, I didn't realize it, but okay." you know? So,
Yeah. That's actually one thing that I mean, not not to smother you with praise because I don't mean to fluster or whatever. You compliment you and you stay you on edge, but there's one thing I do admire about you is how much you've put that into your streams too. Is just different ways that you've started tackling your stress because I'm one of those people who was like, well, I don't really know any other ways other than go for walks. It's like, okay, but I walking's boring. But then like even just an example of with your I don't want to call it scrapbooking because it's just that makes it sound so suburban
That's
mom.
basically that. It's
But
fine.
yeah,
My
where I
hobbies
was
are
like,
suburban mom. It's fine.
but it's not. It was so cool that it was all things that you had like gathered. I'm
Yeah.
trying to not make you sound like a crow, but
Little
it's
I'm a little shiny, shiny rings and shiny flowers
yeah.
and
But that's really cool because I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? That would be a really great way because I struggle with like permanence. So like stickers, for example,
Mhm.
I will never use them. I
Yeah.
collect them. I will never use them because I hate permanence. And so I'd
Mhm.
always kind of like rejected the idea of scrapbooks because there's just the finality of things being glued down that I didn't like.
Mhm.
But then because and needing it to like look perfect and stuff. But then I'm like, well, then seeing with things that you'd gathered and just kind of doing it on the fly and because it doesn't have to be perfect and it's kind of the whole point. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's really relaxing, even just watching it. And I'm like, I should try
Yeah.
that. I should try that. Like,
Yeah, also, I feel like gathering the flowers gives you, like, an awareness on your walks because I 'cause I'm constantly looking,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, I've never collected this one before," and, "Ooh, this leaf looks cool, I wanna put this," and it kinda
Yeah.
helps with the excitability of a walk. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I also have a really active imagination, so most of the time, I play my music. Sometimes I'll play, like, I don't know, God of War music, and I'm walking through, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on a mission right now to go hunt something." Walking my
Do
dog
you
through the forest, but,
have you seen are you on TikTok at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen the ones where there's like this is the real reason I got a walking pad?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, that would be me outside with a walk if I had headphones in. Like it's not.
Exactly. So for
Mm.
me, when people make that not an excuse, but people are like, "Oh, well, walking is not really fun or whatever, it takes too much time." And I'm like, "But you could be going on a quest. But you could be going like Yeah, I mean, it helps that I have a dog too that makes it fun for me, but yeah, I don't
That's true.
know. I don't some people don't really have active imaginations, and I wonder how they live their life. What do you mean to say you don't wake up every
Right?
morning with 15 different stories that you wanna work on in your head or your scenarios or huh? What?
What do you mean you haven't Googled maladaptive daydreaming at least once and thought that could be me? Like,
I never realized that because even now I'm like, "Nah, that's not me. It's not that bad, surely, right?" But I
right?
have, like, a whole movie in my head. Really?
Same.
Maybe I
Yep.
could maybe.
I'm gonna tell you a
Saw a
secret.
post one time of someone that was like, "Yeah, I sat next to this girl on the plane, and she just raw dogged it the whole time. No headphones, no movie, no book, nothing." And I was like, "I mean, I could do that easy."
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Only because all the other stimuli around me would like distract me from what I'm thinking about.
No,
But
fair. Yeah, yeah.
yes. That's a little secret. That's why I went for a screenwriting degree.
Mm.
Because I would constantly get these little snippets of scenes in my head that I would end up writing like Swiss cheese versions of scripts. None of them were ever
Yeah.
complete, but just
Mhm.
the ones that I could see so clearly in my head. Because almost always when I'm listening to music, I can just imagine like a plot to that, to being like
Yes!
not a music video,
Yes!
but like yeah, that it's the soundtrack for.
Yes.
Yes, and I would write that out. That's how I got my screenwriting degree. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I do
100%.
the same thing. Or a lot of
Mhm.
times I'll find songs that I think suit the characters that I have as well. And then I'll imagine them in scenarios with this song and I'm like, oh, oh yeah. I totally feel you. I relate.
I'm so glad someone else understands what I say when I'm doing that because like
I
I've
can't
said
believe
that
people
to a
don't
few people before.
understand. What?
Right? Like there's there's one soundtrack on my Spotify that is specifically, what is it called? Sheikah Tower from Breath of the Wild. It's literally just the
Mhm.
soundtrack from when you're on the
Mhm, mhm.
towers, and that's it.
Yep.
That entire, I can see the entire shot opening of what I would expect from a live action Zelda of Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Like I could already see the opening sequence of what it would look like in my head, and I know how I would write it
Mhm.
just using that song as the opening.
Honestly, also, if you ever have to go on a road trip or you drive a lot, listening to
Mhm.
video game soundtracks,
Yep.
for me, helps so much because I get transported into a different world with all these stories, and I don't realize, like, I'm
Mhm.
stuck in an hour of traffic, but I'm so invested in this movie inside my
So
head
true.
that I don't even realize until I get home, and I'm like, "Oh, damn, I'm driving on autopilot," and also like, "Oh my god, what just happened?"
Hans Zimmer is a big one too. Mhm.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer,
Anything
for
from him.
sure.
The entire Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. Good lord.
Oh, yes. Yes, totally, I
That
feel
could be,
that.
you can do that for anything.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So true. All right, sorry, your turn.
I think I found one. I feel like this is
Okay.
pretty easy, hopefully. If I could
Mhm.
meet any character from a book or video game, movie, whatever, who would I choose?
It's me trying to figure out which one.
There's a few of them.
There's a
Hmm.
few. I mean, like, we already talked about how you loved Alhaitham,
Mhm.
but also Risley. I mean, is there a limit?
It only says
I
one.
guess, okay,
But I
well,
love
then
how you know.
either of them to start off.
God, I'd be so intimidated though. I'd be so scared. I feel like I don't know if I'm allowed to look at you. Oh my god. Rather, what would they think of me? Who's this little pipsqueak over here staring at me? What the hell? Man.
Oh no, I
Halson.
could imagine you being a
Actually,
little.
I
Yeah.
think I genuinely would love to meet Halson because I wouldn't feel quite as intimidated by him. I feel like he'd accept me for as I am. I feel like Risley and Hytham, they're too good for me, you know? But Halson would accept me. Halson's also just Halson, you know?
The bounty of nature's gifts. Yep.
Yeah, he would get it. He gets it. I love animals. I'm a little awkward. He get it. He understands.
You were the person that was like, man or the bear? Why not both?
That's crazy. So true though. So true.
Jesus.
Comfort
But
characters
yes.
though.
You know what? Not even in a thirsty way necessarily. I mean, yes, I feel like you'd appreciate it, but at the same time, I think you also like these characters for reasons that are not just their looks. And so,
Oh, definitely. For
yeah,
sure.
I think.
I think in terms of like lore wise, Hytham and
Mm-hmm,
Shao actually are my favorite lore wise.
mm-hmm.
And then Rice's lore kind of hits a little too close to home. So,
Oh,
um, yeah. Yeah, so I definitely obviously the looks are one thing, but it's their story too. What are
mm-hmm.
you doing? Can you hear him?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, oh, absolutely. It's adorable. I'm just like, give him more pets. I think he wants more
He's
pets.
no, he's playing with his toy right now. He's like
Oh,
wiggling it around. He's shaking his head around with it.
oh, I can hear it. The play, like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's see. Ooh. Do you think I'm more likely to follow my heart or my head when making decisions?
Hmm. I feel like you'd be more likely to follow your head, to be honest. You seem a little bit more pragmatic for certain things. But on the same side, I don't know. I feel like you're similar to me. You have a pretty active imagination, and I feel like you do have a sense of romanticism, not literally in the romantic sense, but like
Mm-hmm.
idealism maybe? I'm not
I
sure.
get what you mean.
But
Yeah.
I feel like overall you'd still be the type to follow your head just out of like fear maybe.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
think
fair.
overall
I get
you'd be the
that.
type to follow your head.
Mm.
Have you ever had moments where you follow your heart?
Um, I would say yes, and I think that's why I now follow my head.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I think I've kind of self-taught myself that my heart can't be trusted.
Mhm.
And so my head gets not jurisdiction, but my head gets I don't know
Priority.
what priority. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets primary
Mhm.
decision making
You get burned in the
rules. Yeah.
past, so you just follow the most logical
Mm-hmm.
route instead. Uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh. Mm.
To the point where I would almost argue that sometimes now I would almost say I struggle with like sometimes being too detached
Mhm.
from decisions where it's like, oh, you should, factor in these things. And I'm like, why?
Being very apathetic.
Like
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit. Or maybe I struggle to not necessarily value human feelings about like involved, but I do find I struggle to account for them maybe
I get you.
sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
which makes me come across
I get
insensitive
you.
sometimes, which I never intend, but it's largely because I just can't account for a factor that I don't know how to perceive.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion hard. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that 100%. Also, you guys saying I went to prison and wins in the ring. Crazy.
That's when you're like his lore. I'm like, oh, they're gonna run with this.
One of
Yeah.
those is true, but I won't say which. Um, but yeah, that's so funny because the question I had next kind of it feels similar to this.
Uh,
What's one thing I would do if I had no fear?
oh. 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 You're one of those people who I think I don't know if there's a limit to that because I feel like you'd be the type of person who would want to try everything if that's the case.
Mhm.
Like I feel like you definitely have more sense of adventure than I would ever have. That's for sure.
Yeah, I will say I'll preface this with saying that I'm pretty adventurous, that I have tried a lot of things.
Mm,
Uh, fear comes from emotions, basically. So if I had no
fair.
fear of emotional things, what do you think I would do?
So much creature. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, oh, what? I struggle to even. I'm trying to think like, what does Bubba like fear? And honestly, I don't know if I remember ever hearing you say if you fear something.
It's a difficult one because I don't think I have a lot of like tangible fears.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. I want to say like no. You know what? I have to. I might have to say I don't know on this one. I don't know.
From what I
I
know
don't
about
know.
myself,
Yeah.
just my feelings, talking about my feelings more,
Mm.
whether it's like platonic or like romantic. I don't ever really like to be vulnerable like that. It's really difficult. I
Okay.
have a big fear of that. So yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
Mhm.
That's
I talk about feelings kind of like on a not a shallow level, but
a
I
detached
definitely
kind
don't.
of.
Yeah, I don't
Mm.
really ever talk about like my true feelings like ever. Confessed once in my life. That is something I won't think I will ever do. That is a big fear. So,
I
um,
fair.
and then, if people hurt my feelings, for example, or if I'm bothered by something, I don't really talk about it. I just kind of I've always been the type to just accept what it is, and I think I mentioned this before, but I'd rather
Mm.
be hurt than hurt
Mm.
others. So,
I have you heard
yeah.
you say that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking something more tangible. So that's yeah. My brain just didn't even
If I
go
had no fear.
there.
I don't it's something tangible, what I would do if I had no fear? I don't know, go scuba
I,
diving or something, but, like,
right? I don't
super
even know what
deep
I would do.
diving.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a fear of it. I just haven't had the opportunity to try it yet.
I didn't know I
Uh,
had a fear of it until recently.
I mean, I've
Huh.
I've studied whales and stuff. It'd be cool to actually like scuba dive with
Ooh,
them.
true. That would be cool. Dang.
But again, I don't think I've had a fear of that. It's tangible
Mm.
fear. I don't know.
Right?
I don't really think I have a ton of tangible fears. That's the thing. I don't really have any like.
That's fair.
I'm not claustrophobic. I don't have a fear of heights. I don't really. Uh, I don't like public speaking. I guess that's about it.
Oh, I feel that. Ironically, I feel that. Meanwhile, we both stream. Yeah, so true.
Streaming is easier because you can't physically
It's
see the faces.
it's different. Yeah. Well, even
Yeah.
when we had face cams, did you find it as difficult?
No, face
No.
camming was different because of the people that would come in and comment things, and I'm like, "Ooh." I already get
Mm,
people coming in being like,
yeah.
"Mommy" and stuff. I don't want them saying that about my physical face either, you know? So
I have genuinely never had someone come in and do that. Not saying they don't. It's just I've genuinely never experienced that, and I'm like, I don't even know how I would
oh,
respond at that
no,
point.
the things that let me tell you, some of them one of the most unhinged things that has ever been sent in my chat was basically like, "Yeah, I if I were with you, I would pin you against the car and F you," like, like
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my. As
Like,
a first time chat.
basically, it was, like, second time. Yeah, it was his
Oh
first time being in
hell
the stream.
no.
Obviously, insta ban, but, like, no, I've
What
had some
the
unhinged stuff, and I don't think I've ever given off that energy of I'm not a lewd tuber. I don't think I've ever given off that energy, so I
right?
huh? I make jokes about Risley, sure, but never like, huh? Crazy.
She's just a little Mary. What the fuck?
I'm just a little berry.
How are y'all liking this?
It's
Oh
'cause Pups is
man.
very sweetie vibes, and I love to ruin
True.
that.
True.
That's crazy. God.
I'm not gonna
No,
ask that
actually,
one.
the amount of true. No, you're kind of not wrong though, because when a
Mm-hmm.
lot of men, when they find out that she has like very little romantic experience, she's never had a first kiss, yada yada, they're like, "But I could be your first one, baby girl," and I'm like, "Ew, go away,
Do they
ew."
really? I've been
Yeah,
so upfront about the fact that I've never had a relationship
I had someone come
or
into my
anything.
DMs,
Oh wow.
back. This is just like personal, like IRL DMs.
Yeah.
From my, like, personal Instagram account being like, "I love that you're, like, so innocent and sweet, like, I'd love to mess you up or
Oh.
whatever, whatever." Like,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, I was
Oh.
yeah.
Oh. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Me want to break you. Ew. Ew. You know what? Maybe it's the shoulder pads. I'll keep them. Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh.
I'm so embarrassed to be a guy after that. No, it is what it
Mm.
is, but it's I don't know, man. Yeah, I do get those comments. That's kinda messed up because I have the sweet vibes that they wanna break me. I could break them. Trust.
It's true. It's true. Um, I think we're closing in on the end. Um,
Mm.
what do you think I care about most in life? This sounds so existential. This can be
Mm.
specific or broad. I don't. It. Yeah. That's so open.
Um, maybe this is gonna be more of a not a very tangible answer, but like a sense of
That's okay,
stability and like belonging, maybe.
bro. You are so spot on. That's scary. I genuinely didn't think I didn't think I projected it at all because I'm like I don't even know how I would, but that's spot on.
Well, I just based it off
Yes.
of myself because we're similar in a lot of ways. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm. Having that
Not
wanting that
even
sense of
necessarily like happiness,
stability.
but stability. Yep.
Well, and when you have a chronic illness, it's never guaranteed. You can have a job
So
now, but you
true.
never know what's gonna happen in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
that sense of stability is something that I think you probably long for and me as well.
So
Just
much.
knowing that like, hey, I can provide for myself. I don't want to be rich. I don't want a mansion or anything. I just want to be able to afford an apartment at this point and have that stability and then have a place that you belong. Because most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, being neurospicy, you don't always feel like you belong. So yeah.
So true.
Mm.
I feel so seen right now because yes, that is so spot on. Like
Mhm.
I remember growing up that my, you know, because I don't want to say I grew up in like a poor home necessarily, but it was, you know, lower middle class. It was, things were tight.
Mhm.
And so financial stability was definitely something I always strived for. But when you're growing up, you always kind of overcompensate. I'm like, I want to like be fucking rich, you know, like I want to be
Mhm.
successful, quote unquote. But
Yeah. And I think it's
growing
less
up, I'm
about that
like,
richness. It's just stability that
yeah,
you want.
now it's like, yeah, when I'm an adult, I'm just like, I just want to like be able to, you know, have a car repair come up and not have to worry about it.
I want to be able to buy a burger without having to look at my bank account. That'd be nice.
Oh, that too. Oh, hey Brando, we talked some more shit about you. How you doing?
I apologize on behalf of my half of the population. There's again, I'm not the type of person that says, "Oh, men are evil." I've never been that type of person. There's always good eggs, but you know, it's good to educate as well. Be aware of yourself if you're a man, you know.
Yes. Or the whole
Yeah.
be aware, call out your fellow men on their bullshit.
Mhm. Even if
God.
they are like, "Oh, you're being a white knight, you're being a simp." Who cares? Who cares? That's better than the alternative. No.
Guys trying to fight? Not right now.
Not a men are evil people. I've been very fortunate with the men in my
Mm-hmm.
life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had both and I've experienced both ends. And even then I'm still not like, "Oh, men are evil." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Brando did come up in previous. What did we?
We were talking
What did?
about what
What were we
kind of
talking about?
we were talking about what kind of character I was or whatever
Yeah,
personality.
that's what it was.
What character I would be in a book or video game or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right, Brando. Brando, have you seen Shangri-La Frontier? If not, you should look it up. Your pencil, just so you know. Anyway,
Chaotic gremlin.
it's because I said Bubs was at least a portion of Bubs. The gamer Bubs is Sunraku.
Mm,
Absolutely. Uh, it is your turn, I do believe.
okay. How would you describe my level of empathy?
Level of empathy. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you a really stupid question. I get empathy and sympathy mixed up. Empathy is the one
Empathy is like how you connect to other people's emotions. Sympathy is like you feel
you can
bad for someone.
understand them. Okay, got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, want to make sure I got the right way. Writing degree over here, but anyway, yep. I get them confused all the time.
Someone clip that,
But
please. That's a writing degree.
7 years of school. Can't keep them straight. um,
Brando.
wait. Is highly competitive, very confident, blunt, aggressive, narcissistic. Where did you get the description? Because that was just mean. That's not what she's. I mean, it's not what she's like, but there's other aspects to her too. She's more like a menace. They just googled it. Okay, well, that the AI answer because that's a little too mean. Okay, I will find a clip for you if that will make you feel better. I will find a clip for you. I swear it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad. Sorry. Empathetic. Sorry, repeat me the question. Is it how good are you at being empathetic?
How would you describe my level of empathy?
I would say I was about to say average, but then I realized most people are below average, so that's not correct. um I don't okay, this is a situation where I'm like, I don't know if I'm projecting again because outwardly you seem like you have a very high level of empathy with people. Like I
Mhm.
feel like you're very good at it. I don't actually know if that's the case. I don't know if you feel like that's the case. It seems like it, but I don't know if that's correct.
No, yeah, you're actually right.
Okay.
My MBTI type, and also
Uh-huh.
myself personally, I've probably too much levels of empathy. I feel things a lot. I feel for people a lot. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, very very high levels of
fair.
empathy actually. Very,
Fair.
I get teased by my friends. You're just an empath, you know. Okay. I pick up on people's emotions a lot, I should say. I can
Okay.
usually tell even through text that something is wrong.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, I'm very, very aware when it comes to feelings, and it's probably also like a learned behavior. But
Mm,
yeah,
noted. Noted. See, I definitely would
definitely
have been
very
projecting
much.
then. Because
Mhm.
I'm the type where I feel like I can recognize what I'm supposed to feel, but I also struggle to feel it.
Mm.
So I know what I should be saying, and I usually do say it. Like I do the thing, but I do struggle. I find to feel what other people are feeling all the time. So I'm like, that's yeah.
I think back in my teen days when I bottled everything up, I was kind of like that. I
Mm.
was like, I never cry, and now it's like, dude, I watch a video and I'm crying. Like, so no, I'm definitely yeah, I'm a very empathetic person. I feel.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Good, honestly, and especially when you said that it's learned. Like, fucking good for you for being able to pick that up because it's an art
Well,
that I've
it's
not been
learned
able
not
to grasp.
necessarily for good reasons. It's just
Oh
a very
well.
volatile childhood, and so I learned
Mm,
that being able to be
mm,
aware of what everyone's mood is very important. Yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gosh, I understand now. That's
Mhm.
that is hard then. Shit. It's kind
But
of like
it's
one of
good
those
now.
silver
Someone will
lining at
type
least that it's yeah.
like Brandon will be like hi instead of hi blah 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 blah. How are you doing blah blah?
Mm.
If he just says hi, I'm like something's wrong.
See, okay, I notice stuff like that and I just assume it's my pattern recognition where I'm like, "Oh, that's not how you usually do that."
I always
So,
say it's better to ask if something is wrong and be
mhm.
wrong about it than not ask anything at all and someone just needs a hug, you know? I'd
Yep.
rather them be like, "No, man, I'm chilling," than not ask a question and they're like crying in a corner by themselves, you know?
Oh, so true.
So,
Yes.
I'd rather just ask and be wrong, and it's fine.
You're catching straight. What?
Brando is just my reference for a lot of
Brenda's
things, you
fine.
know? Because I spend a lot of time with him, so he's just my reference for things.
And Brando, I'm gonna get you a clip of that character because they just remind me of you because they're a menace, but also they're a badass player
He's
in
not catching
general.
straight. That's not catching strays. I'm saying if he says hi instead of being all excited like he usually is, I know something's wrong.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
It's also because Lynn knows Brando. If I was referencing my other friends, she'd be like, "What?" So
I'm like the top of the combo. Well, what do we think? One more round? One more round each?
yeah, we can do one more.
Oh, this is interesting that I saw this immediately. Ooh.
Mhm.
How do you think I react when I feel misunderstood by others?
Hmm. I feel like you'll either over explain yourself or you go very quiet. Like no in between.
That's so true. That's so true. I absolutely over explain, which makes it worse.
Yeah, because you don't
I
want people
found
to
it makes it
misunderstand.
worse.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. Like, I just wanted to do this and that. And but like,
Yeah.
it's
It's almost always taken as either excuses or backpedaling
God, I hate that.
all the
Yes.
time. And I'm like, but no, I'm just bad at talking and communicating. I need a do over.
Yep.
uh,
Yep. No, I
that's
feel that.
so, yes, 100%. That is, yep. Or I'll go
Mhm.
quiet. Yes, because I know that that's usually when I've realized or at least picked up on the fact that if I over explain right now, it's going to be worse. And I literally am just weighing the pros and cons of should I respond at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what I think Bale's explaining it as well. I think that's a struggle for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
neurospicy people, especially. It's like we want to
Mm-hmm.
explain ourselves. We're like, don't make excuses. I'm like, it's not an excuse. It's just I'm telling you why I did something the way I did it.
Yeah.
No, that's an
Yeah.
excuse. It's not an excuse. I'm not saying what I
Yeah.
did was right if I'm wrong in that instance.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the reason I did it so that you know.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that word excuses. Ah.
Yeah. It's because I think it comes loaded with that idea of our intentions are always assumed.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, 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 hold on. No, no. Like,
We do things a little differently over here.
yeah. Like, whoa, whoa.
Yep. Mhm.
Calm down. Hold on. Hold on. Exactly.
Yep. No, I feel that. I understand completely. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe my style of problem solving?
Ooh, your style of problem solving? Okay.
Or like what you notice when I'm problem solving, basically.
I feel like you're very much the work smarter, not harder,
Mhm.
in that your problem solving. It's almost like I feel like I've seen you in games where you realize, like, oh, they want me to do this. That's stupid. Why wouldn't I just do this? And it was usually just easier.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, look at that. That is wow. That's yep. That is a lot easier actually. Why didn't they? What? And so I think it's kind of like almost the opposite of overthinking. It's almost like you look at something and just because of the way that you perceive it, it's like it's almost not even like problem solving necessarily. It's literally just, well, this is how I would do it. This just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's easier than what that is leading me down. I don't want to do that. Like
Scarily accurate. Oh my god. Well, that circles back to what I was telling you before about black and white thinking versus like circular
yeah.
thinking or not versus like open-minded thinking, right?
Yeah.
Um but I've always been the type I'm a very efficient worker. I'm a very efficient problem solver.
Hmm.
And for me, it's kind of like it's like if you're playing a video game and there's a big old arrow in front of you showing you the easiest way, but everyone else for some
Yeah.
reason is going around it, going the opposite direction. And I'm just like, for me, problems almost
Yes.
always are very obvious to me. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I analyze or whatever. So someone will be like, yeah, this is happening. And I'm like, okay, so we just do this. And they're like, no, but this and this happens. I'm like, okay, so we do this. And I'm like, wait, you're kind of correct. I'm like, yes,
Right?
I know I am. I thought about it. Which is I make that joke all the time about, yeah, I'm always right. But that's because like
Do you doubt
people are
yourself a
always
little bit when doing that though? Do you doubt
most
yourself
of the
where you're
time,
like,
no.
I almost feel like I'm a almost like a smart ass if I bring this up?
No.
No? Okay, I
No,
still struggle with
no.
that a little
Maybe
bit.
that's a little arrogant for me, but most of the
No,
time I'm
that's fair.
like, I've thought about this and like I'm sure this is correct. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But most of the time, I'm like 99% of the time in my
Yeah.
life, it has always worked for me. So,
Like, oh, prime
yeah.
example. You remind me of someone who I was watching a streamer years ago. You've played Breath of the Wild, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Do you remember the shrine behind the Zora's domain that was on the side of a cliff face behind breakable boulders at
I
all?
don't know.
I'm sorry, that's so specific.
It's so
Normally,
specific.
every person I've seen play this playthrough goes and does that shrine after they have explosive arrows because they just fly toward it and they blow up the wall.
Hmm.
And then they go and climb and they get in and they do the shrine. Every single person I've ever seen, until I'm watching this one streamer do it. And instead of, they didn't have bomb arrows yet. They didn't have any of that. They just were going through Zora's domain and they were exploring and they stumbled into the cliffside on the opposite side of that shrine. And there they realized, like, oh, why are all these boulders here? And I'm watching like, yeah, why are there all those boulders there? That's weird. And then I noticed that they have a sledgehammer on the side of the wall. And I'm like, why would they have that there? It was set up so that you would use the sledgehammer to hit the boulders at the breakable wall across the ravine.
Hmm.
I had never seen this in my goddamn life. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
That would be me as well, but just mostly because when I play games, I always play in a way different than developers are expecting, which is why I almost always discover all the bugs in a game too. I'm like, I should have been a game tester because no one ever expects the way I play games, and so I
Right.
always find all the bugs, and I'm like, damn.
this was almost the opposite, where I'm like, oh, the designed way was so unnecessary. And like the aim you'd have to have, and you have to have the right strength, and fuck that. I would also just go look for the bomb arrows. Like, why would anyone do this? And then I'm like, what? So then I'm like, oh, so everybody in this game was just Bubba. Like, that's, we saw them, we're like, oh, that's stupid. We're gonna go get the things that'll just explode when we hit it. Like,
Yeah, so true. I like how we're talking about my problem solving, and Brando's like, slam your head into it until it works. Yep, that's very Brando.
wait, that's me. Yeah. So Brando, I'm gonna send you that clip because then you'll get it.
That's
Brute
not
force.
efficient. I've had
It
that
tracks.
issue though, because I'm so efficient with problem solving and just doing things in my life that I was always given the extra work and whatever. And now I've learned to just be a little like, let me not show my boss that I'm this efficient. Let me be a little lazy
Yep.
because otherwise I'm gonna get extra work, and I don't want that, man.
See, I told my boss that in my appraisal last week.
Hmm.
I told her that because I genuinely am in a workplace where that is not the case anymore.
Hmm.
My like being efficient is rewarded, and I've never been in a job that's like that before. And I told her in the feedback part where I'm like, I feel valued, but also I feel like I can actually do my utmost here because I feel like my reward is not going to be more work, like more workload onto me instead of evenly spread out among the team. So, oh my God, I feel that because that's every job I've ever been in before this.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep. Take advantage of that. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm desperately trying to find this clip of pencil so that Brando can stop crashing out. Not the backstory. You don't need 2 minutes of backstory on this character. She's great though. It's okay, Brad. It's not an insult. She's genuinely one of the best characters. Chaotic and ruthless, but still so funny and such a good friend. Hardcore immersive player. There you go. I'll find stuff for you. But I swear she's not as toxic as Google made her sound. that's just the gremlin coming out.
Causing misunderstandings, SMH.
Don't misunderstand me. I'll over-explain or I'll go quiet. I'm over-explaining already. Oh, God.
I hope you save this VOD for yourself. Download it and save it for yourself so that your
give it to
therapist
my
can
therapist.
be like, yeah, exactly.
It's funny. I actually told her, I was like, you realize I do half these exercises on stream? And she's like, do you really? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of an echo chamber and people kind of learn along the way. It's kind of nice. And she's like, well, now I feel like I have to leave you with a little tidbit that is interesting. And she, you know what she dumped on me last time, which was actually really was interesting. Because we started talking about like generational trauma. She's like, you know that they're doing studies where they're actually finding markers on DNA that could indicate that? I was like, what? She's like, yeah. If, for example, a parent, they find a father specifically, go through like traumatic events, it triggers the stress hormone and everything, right? It creates like this notch, this marker on their DNA that they pass on, and it is inherited by the kid. And so they're more sensitive to stimuli, like their body is, not necessarily them. They don't realize it is, but their body is more wired to be sensitive to whatever it is. And so
I mean, I guess that makes
hormone.
sense from an evolutionary sense, but that's crazy.
And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. She's like,
right,
yeah.
but I mean, it does make sense because, like, okay, way back in the day, for example, if your father experiences a jaguar or something, and he didn't know at the time that a jaguar could kill you, but all of a sudden he experienced this guy trying to bite his arm off, then he passes that on to his kid, instinctually knows, wait, maybe this jaguar is kind of bad, and so I'm just gonna be wary around you. That's interesting. Maybe that's why so many like humans are afraid of snakes and spiders and stuff. Instinctually,
even
they found out
the anxiety of just social stuff. Like even just, it depends on like what the PTSD could, or not PTSD, but the generational trauma could be, right? Like it's whatever it is, it just makes them hyper aware, or it just makes them more sensitive to more. It may not be the same kind necessarily, but just more stimuli that otherwise your system may have ignored is now taken as a possible threat. And it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting for sure.
So, I'm gonna probably pick her brain about that some more next time. But yeah, she's like, well, there's your fun little tidbit that you can share, and I'm like, thank you.
Fun little. Did you know? Yep.
Love her. She's so good.
Love that.
But yeah, I won't keep you too long because I've kept you for a whole 2 whopping hours, and I'm sure you want to enjoy your night off. So I want to thank you for doing this with me, though, because this is I was afraid of having anyone do this with me because it is a pretty, vulnerable and open discussion for anybody to have, especially online. So thank you for joining me for it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks. I learned a lot, and I really needed it, actually. I really wasn't doing it for the bit. I genuinely started crying for a couple times. So that's
I'm sorry.
No, I not that I expected it, but I was like, it's a possibility. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I learned a lot too.
Oh, good. I'm glad people got more out of it. So I will let you go. I'll let you decompress. I'm going to say bye to chat. I'm probably going to curl up and watch some anime.
All right, bye bye.
Apothecary tonight.
Probably not tonight, I think.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I want to hear your thoughts anyway, so just DM me.
I will let you know. All right. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye. And thank you guys for joining me too. I appreciate it. Thank you for understanding that I can talk directly to stream most of the night. It was a lot of discussion that I didn't want to really take away from. So thank you for that. Let me go see who we can go find tonight. Oh, I was like, why is my stream? Oh, right. BL rated me. Your tab was open. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Your stream. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Who is on? Skillet's added to the combo. Sure did. Rando sure did. Oh, we can go see Dahlia. Perfect. That's what we can go see. I believe Dahlia is playing a new game tonight, actually. South of Midnight. I don't know that one. But Dahlia does love a good mental health discussion, so this could be a good little segue. Thanks, pal. There we go. Maritime, if you could do the wrap-up command, please and thank you. Thank you. For any of our new friends, if you'd like to join us offline, we do have the Discord link there. Pardon me. I most likely will be posting a ton of stuff from Anime Ottawa this weekend, so fair warning, there's going to be a little bit of a photo dumps in there. But otherwise, make sure to grab the first message of followers, second one for Stubbies. We're going to go say hi to Dahlia, who is playing South of Midnight. First impressions. I don't know this game, but it looks... Ooh, you know what it kind of looks like? It looks like Bridge of Souls almost, which is really cool. I'm going to have to go watch that a little bit before I jump into the anime. But yeah. Thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on, you know what? I actually don't know. I have to make the schedule for next week because with all the time off, I don't really know. It's a very fun game. Noted. I will have to go look. So thank you guys again. I appreciate it. I will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend, Souplings. Bye.